Hey everyone, today we are diving into a practical use case that combines ExtJS as a single page application with OnlyOffice plugin development to build a powerful document automation workflow. If you are working in your business with ExtJS applications anyways, you already have real-time access to all your application data. But what if you could seamlessly push that data into your documents? That's exactly what we'll explore today. I've built a plugin that bridges ExtJS with OnlyOffice, and as a bonus feature, I've integrated AI to enhance my document automatically. Of course, the same architecture works just as well with company rec data, database queries, or any other data source you need. We'll cover three topics today. First, what you actually need to build an OnlyOffice plugin. Second, how surprisingly straightforward it is to pass data from ExtJS frontend into documents. And third, why a single page application architecture makes perfect sense for this kind of integration. Let's jump into the practical side of things. I'm here in the OnlyOffice interface. First, let's look at an absolute simplest plugin you can build with ExtJS. So first of all, I personally start with this for development reasons, because then I get this DevTools windows on the right side. I'm right now in the console, so this allows me to get there. So about the plugin, the minimum is you open your plugin in here, say okay, manual install a plugin, and then you get the plugin right in here, ExtJS test environment. So let's see what that does. I'll open the plugin tab. What you're seeing here in the sidebar is a ExtJS Classic Toolkit app, which I generated using Sencha app generate. And then I created a production build and embedded it directly into the plugin. As you can see, it works right out of the box. I can switch to users, whatever. So what does it need to get this running? First of all, what you need is a config JSON. Let me open this up. Here you have to set some data. We'll cover that in a bit. Then you might want to add under resources, image, some icons. For myself, you just need the icon PNG, but if you want to display the icons in here, you have to add a couple more of these icons. Right on my computer, I need the icon at 1.75 factor. Sometimes on another screen, I need 1.5. And so if you do not have these, you will get a pop-up in here in the dev console, which will remind you, yeah, I couldn't find that, so please add it. Then what you do, mark all these, I zip them, and I rename them to plugin. That's all you need to do to get your plugin. And managing these plugins is just as easy. So going to the plugin manager, we already saw that you click here, manual install, and just to remove it, I press remove it, yes, and it's gone. It's that easy. Now let's get into the development details. Here in my IDE, you can see the config JSON file. It requires a few key properties. So the first would be the name, anything. The GUID, which is in here. You do need this, and in here you should have a unique ID. For purposes of today, I just added in here ExtJS Enhanced 2025 so that I can find it right away in my console, and that's why I added it in here, readable, human readable. Then you need the icon path in here. So this is my icon. There are many more configurations in here, and if you're interested in them, just let me know in the comments below. For reasons, I would say, if you find this useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. It really helps my channel. So that's the bare minimum to get a plugin displayed. But we want to communicate with the OnlyOffice document itself. For that, we need to include some JavaScript files and a CSS. So the JavaScript files are the plugin.js and the plugins UI.js. They will be there, so we do not add them to our sources or download them from anywhere, but they will be in a parallel folder in the v1 folder, and we just want to add them in the index.html, but we do not want to bundle these JS files with our ExtJS file. So how do we do this? In the app.json, we add the path under JavaScript, and within the CSS part, we add the path and remote true. This tells ExtJS files will be there. We do not deliver them. Do not copy any folders or something like that. Just they will be there. Next thing is in the application.js. I put it in on before launch. We want to listen to the realization of the plugin. So at this point, we do know the plugin has been loaded and these files are ready, and now we can do something with the plugin. And that's where personally I fire an event, and it's a custom event, and I want to add just this as the scope. So in here, I'm listening Ext on. You can do that anywhere in your application. I just put it in here to ensure that we can see everything at once. So in here, I'm just saying, and what I do, I add here the Ext has plugin. In the Ext namespace, I'm adding a global variable has plugin. This is especially important for me as a developer, so I can test it without building always the plugin, just to get some internal stuff running. So I'm setting this, and in other places I can check, do I have the plugin or not? And you do not have to worry about, am I doing this on before launch or on launch or wherever you want to. I tested it a bit. In the main controller, so when the view gets built, I figured out I have about 5 milliseconds after the view has been built. This should give you enough time to ensure the plugin gets initialized. Same in here, Ext has plugin true. Okay, so next we're jumping back to our view in here, just to see, does this work? So let me first of all get the plugin installed. Available plugins, plugin manual install, the enhanced plugin. You can see it's in here. I start the plugin, I get here, plugin has been initialized. And now I added some stuff in here to, like, I click in this list, yes, and I get the first name as a bold, and the email address in parentheses. Next one, let's just take, because this one doesn't matter, So I always get this. And another one would be, I changed the view here so that this gets selectable. Typically, when you're using ExtJS, it's not selectable. So I added this selectable in here, and I just mark this, paste selection, and I get it right in here. So this is the main idea of getting stuff from your application into the document. Yeah, so let's go back to see how this works. In here, I added onItemSelected. And all I'm doing is I'm getting the record data, and I'm saying paste HTML as a plugin method. In here you can see it's bold, the name, and in parentheses, the email address. The same as for my selection, when I copy pasted the text, I'm just saying get selected text. It's just some JavaScript in here. I'm again pasting it. There are different methods in the plugin to get text into your document. This is the easiest way. There are more enhanced ways to do this. And now I created a plugin that communicates with an AI. Okay, let's see what we get in here. If we say start it with the title and so on, create a story about a bear and a tiger. Okay, so what we get? We get a story. We do get this, and so we get a comment on the side about what the AI did. So let's remove all the comments and say, please rename the tiger. Please rename the tiger. Find another name yourself. Now we see in here, somewhere in here it changed. It's now Zara, and here and here. So I did this so that I can follow up with what changed. And if I do not want these changes, I can just press this button. If I want to start another conversation, I can click this button. Now imagine if this wasn't just a simple story, but proprietary company data from a rack system or customer complaints. And we could perfectly format these snippets or whatever we got there as a data, because we want to avoid reloading a web page for every interaction. A single page application is the way to go. If you have enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, leave a comment in the section below, and thank you for watching.